Hello everyone and welcome to the Starbound fishing video. In this video I'm going to try and cover everything in the Starbound fishing in as much detail as possible. Hopefully you enjoy it and let's get right into it. So to get started with fishing, the first thing you're going to have to make is a fishing rod. And to do so you need to make an inventor's table and then craft a foraging table, and that is going to allow you to make your first fishing rod. If you upgrade your foraging table, it's going to allow you to make the more advanced durable fishing rod. Now the only difference between the two is that the basic fishing rod allows you to fish on the ocean planet and the Arctic planet, whereas the durable one allows you to fish on both the previous two and the toxic planet and the magma planet. So there's 4 different planets you can fish from: the ocean planet, the toxic planet, the Arctic planet, and the magma planet. Each of these planets contain 12 different varieties of fish which are specific to that planet. The fish are labelled based on their rarity, and that goes from common, uncommon, rare to legendary. So the main thing about fishing is to generally try and fill up that collections tab. Each time you catch a fish, you're going to add a little bit of progress towards it, and through fishing as well, you can get upgrades to make that goal a little more accomplishable. So I'm really happy about this next piece of information. It took me a while to get it all together, but it isn't listed very heavily on the wiki or other places, so I'm very happy to possibly be the first person to tell you this. Now through fishing you can actually get even more items. You can get matter manipulator upgrades, augments, tech cards, diamonds, pet collars, instruments, and even clothing. So the rarity of the fish actually has a little more impact than most people think. So uncommon fish can only drop things such as reels and lures, whereas a rare fish can actually drop reels, lures, they can drop manipulator modules, tech cards, and diamonds. Now the big one is the legendary. Obviously they're so hard to find and they're really rare, but they can drop everything. They can drop the fishing rod upgrades, they can drop matter manipulator upgrades, they can drop diamonds, clothing, and even instruments. So what they've done to make fishing a little more complicated is that they've made it so certain fish can only be found at certain times of day, as well as only being able to be found at certain depths. So for you guys, I've made this picture in the description, and if you click it, it will open up. It'll show you the uncommon, rare, and legendary fish, basically the ones that drop items, and at what depths, and at what times, and what planets they're on. Hopefully it helps you guys, and that's my little gift for you, just for being so awesome and so supportive. So once you're ready to start fishing, all you need to do is head to one of the 4 planets that I stated earlier on, and cast your line into the ocean. Now, for this example, I'm just going to try and catch the first thing that I find, which is probably going to be a common fish, but it doesn't really matter. Now all the fishing is actually controlled with your W, S, A, and D. Now you can use left and right click to bring it in, or just cancel and use your left click to cast, but I prefer to use my WSAD once I'm in the water to just maneuver around fish. And you use this mechanic just to try and dodge the fish you don't want, such as this awful common fish, and try and get something a little rarer. Now, like I said, I don't really want to spend too much time trying to find a rare fish because they are really rare. They are hard to find, and sometimes it can take hours. And we have now caught a fish. It was actually an uncommon fish just there. Now, when you actually start to reel in a fish, you've got the option of using your W or your left click. Now, as you can see, the fish is trying to pull away, and when it does that, I've got to stop reeling in the fish, or the line will break and the fish will get away. Now, the more rare the fish is, the harder it is to reel them in, and the more they will fight. And we're just about to get this guy out. He's actually fighting a ton. And there he is. Now, you can either kill him on the spot with a weapon of some sort, or you can just leave them to slowly die on their own course. Now, because it's a common fish, it's just going to drop some pixels and a piece of fish. Now, the lures and stuff will drop from uncommon, rare, and legendary as I stated, and I've actually prepared them here for you. So the high capacity reel will allow you to basically have a longer line and it will go further. The high tension reel will make it so it's a lot harder for the fish to break your line. That is especially useful if you're fishing late in the night like I sometimes do, and my reaction times aren't exactly the best. And then the high speed reel, which is probably my personal favourite. It allows you to reel in the wind a lot faster. Now, it doesn't work when a fish is on the hook, but it's really good for avoiding fish that you don't want. Now, with the lures, it's a similar bag. Now, the motorized lure allows you to have more control of your WSA and D. It goes a little faster, and you can avoid the fish that you don't want. The sinking lure makes it so it sinks a lot faster, and the light lure, or the illuminated lure, is one that I don't really use. The first time I used it, you can see a little bit in the water, but when a fish is on the hook you don't really see anything, so I don't use it at all. It's kind of useless, and I will happily throw it away at any chance I get. I'd also like to mention to you guys is that if there's any fish that you'd like to keep and you don't want to get rid of, make sure that you craft one of the Relocator Tools, which is one of the new items which was added in 1.1. You craft it at the same place as your durable fishing rod. And let me try and find a fish close to the surface here, just so I can show you that you can relocate them. And when you do relocate your fish, they actually stay there permanently, so you don't have to worry about them despawning or dying for any weird reasons. You can also use the relocators to pull up the little fish critters, which were the fish which were added in before the 1.1 update. So if I left click or right click with the relocator, it's going to collect the fish. I can move over to another body of water, left click the fish out, and that is where it will stay permanently now. Even if you log out, close your game, go to a different planet, it will still stay there. And that pretty much wraps up the video. Thank you so much for watching. I tried to keep the video short and as informative as possible. The fishing system has a lot of complexity in it, and I think I covered it in the best way I could. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. But that is everything, guys. Thank you again, and I hope to see you all in the next video.